So, hello everyone. I hope I'm audible to all of you. Kindly send a yes in the chat box so that we can move forward.
Yeah,
Hello.
you're audible.
Okay. So, hello everyone, and this is Prerna this side, and I welcome you all on behalf of Fairgaze team, and I welcome you back to another valuable session of Coffee with Counselors. So, our today's topic is digital parenting. So, we all can relate to this topic very well because this is the lockdown time. During this pandemic, we all are surrounded with digital things and we are surrounded with online classes, and parents are also dealing with all these things. Also, students and teachers and whole school community is dealing with these things. So, our today's topic surrounds this digital parenting thing, and I'm very glad to have with us our webinar facilitator for today. She is Ms. Pooja Jan. Pooja ma'am is a passionate facilitator and coach. She is working as both leadership and career coach mentor. She has total of 22 years of work experience and has been working on leadership assessment and development. I'm really glad to have Ms. Pooja ma'am with us. So, and also before beginning, I would like to jot down some pointers with you. So, today's session will be a 40-minute session where Pooja ma'am will be sharing her deep insights on digital parenting. And after that, we'll have a question and answer round. And also to mention that we are going live on our Fairgaze Facebook page. So, all the audience who are watching us there, they can also ask if they have any queries by sharing their questions in the live, and we'll be asking them at the end of the session. So now I'm handing over to Miss Pooja ma'am for taking this session forward. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello, thank you so much, Prerna, for this wonderful introduction. And a very good evening to all of you who have taken out time to join us for this particular webinar, which is a very different topic and very often not commonly discussed or talked about as such. So thank you for your interest and taking out time around this. And to Prerna Fairgaze team for giving me this platform for it. So, Prerna, are we expecting more people to join in, or should I start with my slides? Prerna? Hello? Prerna, are you
Hello.
there?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am, I'm here. Sorry,
So if
my
you,
audio was not coming. So, ma'am,
no
we can
problem.
begin with because it's 5 already, and people will be
Sure.
sharing us, like coming with us, and also we are going live, and our live has started. So our
So
online
can you
audience is
just,
waiting.
yeah, can you share my presentation
Yes,
to
just
start
just a
that?
moment, ma'am. Just a moment, ma'am.
Sure. So, meanwhile, to all the parents who have joined us here, I would like this to be an interactive session. Please feel free to comment, raise questions in the comment box as we move along, and also respond to the questions that I'm going to be putting forward. Uh, so, be ready for that because I'm going to start off with questions. And yes, the topic is parenting in the digital age. Uh, More so, it has become very pertinent since this lockdown because we all have gone online with work, working from home. So it's become more prominent. But having said that, it has also become a part of our normal routine for quite some time, especially in the metros, etc., and for quite a few professions. Uh, the digital gadgets, etc., has taken a very strong hold in all our lives. So I would like to take this opportunity the next 45 minutes to talk more about it. Yeah. So Prerna, the next slide. So my first question to you, before we actually get into this is, so it has been 60 days now, 60 days plus rather. Okay, we've seen 4 phases of a lockdown. We are now calling it unlock. However, it's still another form of a lockdown, if you ask me personally. So tell me, how has this lockdown impacted you and your family? What are you feeling? What are your feelings right now? How do you feel? 60 days. at home, no moving out, no going out for entertainment, etc.
So all of you can write your views in the chat box because we have muted every participant. So you can write your views on the chat box. Okay.
Yes, can I see some responses coming in? How are you feeling during this lockdown? So just to share with you, okay, let me start with my own thing. So initially it was very constraining. Um it was tough to handle, confusion in the mind, but over a period now kind of settled down, accepted it, found ways around. Uh, so anybody else who would like to share, what are your feelings? Uh, how has this lockdown impacted you and your family?
So ma'am,
The group chat I think is disabled. Prerna, can you just check that? It's showing me disabled.
it's open for all. It's open
Okay,
for all. We have enabled it.
sure.
And Himanshi is raising hand. So should I unmute Himanshi?
Yes, please. Because
Yeah. Just a sec, ma'am. Just a sec.
Ma'am,
Yes, Himanshi, you can speak.
yes, Himanshi, please.
So I think there was some technical issue, so they were not able to send the messages. Now chat is open. You
Right.
can send messages too.
Yeah, that is what I thought. It was showing me also disabled.
Yeah,
Anyways,
now
yes, Himanshi, would you like to say something?
want to give my mother want to give the answer.
Yes, please tell it. I'm waiting to hear. Ma'am, boliye. I think we've lost their voice. Anybody else? Yeah, if you're not able to chat or you wrote in the chat or you're trying to write, you can speak now. We can disable your mute buttons. You can raise a hand. Okay. So let's move ahead on this. So I'm sure there are confusions, a lot of people feeling constrained, no activity happening around, physical activity is limited. Um, I think you will agree that children, especially, are impacted largely because they're so used to having a routine of going to school, spending some hours outside the house, going out to play, going out for tuition classes, for example, going out for entertainment, whether it's movies, whether it's a dinner outside or whatever, uh, playing sports. So those are things that have got curtailed out to a very large extent, and hence that has kind of disabled. And so all that time that was actually going in all these physical activities or moving out, etc., uh, that has now got constrained into the within the confines of your home, and obviously it is impacting. So yes, we have one response from Ritik coming in. He says, lockdown just changed my family's life. The things which were not important before lockdown now seem to be important, and now we are realizing the cost of everything which is not available. That's so wonderful, Ritik. I must congratulate you that you've been able to identify that, and thank you for sharing this, Ritik. uh, yes, indeed, and I would agree with you. I think by now, I think we, even I have kind of reached that stage where we are realizing the importance of certain things. So for me, and I think a lot of women would agree, would be, yes, the importance of the housemaid, for example, right? uh, Yes, so Nikita says children are feeling pressurized with study only. Sure, Nikita, yes, that's one big thing, and we will talk about what else children can do. Uh, Himanshi is connected, says, Ma'am, I'm feeling very good as there is lockdown, but I play with my children. Oh, that's so wonderful, Himanshi. So that's a positive thing. That's so wonderful. Yes, a lot of parents also got this opportunity to spend quality time with their kids which earlier probably they were not able to do because of their hectic work schedules, etc. So they got about a good 1.5 months before now work has again started to resume slowly. So yes, that was a good time to catch up with children, for make up for the lost time. So that's wonderful, Himanshi. Great, thank you for sharing that. Uh, so I would like you to think now as a parent, what do you think the children are feeling? So, like Nikita said, children are feeling pressurized. Any other thoughts from a parent's perspective? What are the things that your child is going through? So, imagine if we are feeling constrained, we were feeling, kind of burdened with housework, etc. So children also are going through a lot of things. Some may have shared, spoken about it. Some children do not voice it out or may not know how to express it, or they may be expressing it in different ways. शायद हमें समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. Uh, so any other indications that you pick up, please do keep sharing. Prerna, we can move on to the next slide. Yes. So the entire idea of this session is that we will be questioning, examining, and exploring common practices and key challenges in modern parenting. So our generation, actually, this current generation of parents, I can say from say 30 plus years onwards, uh, is actually seeing a lot of changes throughout our lives, right? And hence we do also face a lot of challenges in coping with that. So let's understand and question and examine our style of parenting, uh, and how relevant is it to the changes that are happening in the environment around us. There are certain things which are not in our control, and we need to adjust or accommodate our styles according to that. And hence, are we able to do that or not? So let's look at that. And also certain practical strategies which I would like to share, some tips that will work to engage your children more effectively. uh, Maintain connections. You have to build connections with your children all the more now, and to guide children in appropriate and safe use of technology. So I think this last point is a very important one, because technology has embedded in our lives so much. We also need to be able to use it and guide children how to use it very safely. So I'll talk a lot about that towards the later part of my presentation. Yes, and Prerna, next one. So Hemlata is saying we need to act as proactive and happy role models. Yes, definitely. To keep children motivated and happy for being together. That's a wonderful thought, Hemlata. I'll definitely keep this in mind and use it somewhere. Thank you for sharing it. Charu says, I'm feeling like my kids are getting more prone to gadgets. Very true, Charu, and it's with all of us. I think we individuals are also, adults are also getting very used to gadgets. Let's be honest on that. And primarily because a lot of our work is happening on that. Uh, so if it is work, yes, we also need to ensure how much of it. Uh, I'm frustrated, Charu says. Okay. Yeah, sure. Let's see how better can we organize things around that. So quickly, how would you assess yourself as a parent on a scale of 0 to 10? Let's see some numbers coming in. Jayanti saying irritated sometimes, not responding. Okay. Devika says, I'm feeling good as I'm trying to learn something new and utilize my time. That's wonderful, Devika. Great to hear that. Okay, another challenge is children are not sharing their thoughts and feelings, Charu says. Yes, a big issue. Thank you for raising that. And we will talk about this also. That's a favorite topic that I want to touch upon, and hear also about. So great. Thank you. So, yes, how do you rate yourself as a parent on a scale of 0 to 10? Please assess yourselves, rate yourselves. Let me see numbers coming in. Jayanti says 5. Okay. We need to teach them to write down their feelings and issues. Okay. 6, Hemlata says. Okay. 7, Himanshi. Ritik 6. Nikita 6. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you for being so honest and for sharing this. It takes courage to actually reflect and to be able to come out with this. And are you willing to move this up from wherever you are, from a 5, 6, or 7 to say an 8 or a 9? Okay, Charu says, my daughter writes each day. Wonderful, Charu. You're inculcating some great habits, and we are all learning from that as well. Okay, great. So, A couple of you have already shared key challenges, like children are not sharing, they're glued on to gadgets, which frustrates you also. And hence, I'm sure there's a constant back and forth nagging also happening between parents and children, which is not very pleasant a lot of times. So I can understand that also. So yes, there are challenges. Prerna, next slide. So let's see, what are we talking about? And let me try and help you. So I have a model here, a framework that I would like to share with you, which typically works well for age groups of say 5 to 12 at least. You can try it even with other kids as well. Uh, so what we're saying is, when somebody raised a point that children are fed up or feeling pressurized with a lot of study. So yes, that is a valid point, and let's see how else can we engage with them. Okay, so what we are saying is there are 4 different parts of a day that you need to create for your child, and this is a framework. Would love to hear inputs on this as well. So the first part we are saying is physical engagement. So there has to be some amount of a physical activity built into the day for the child. Second is obviously the academic engagement. So the online classes, we cannot refuse them, we cannot control that. So that will stay, right? The third is entertaining engagements. So what are we doing for entertainment? Uh, a large part of it was always external. Entertainment so far had been always external. बाहर जाके picture देखनी है, बाहर जाके खाना खाना है, बाहर जाके दोस्तों से मिलना है, right? So we are all external, and now we have to find things internally. So let's discuss and talk about that. Okay, so Himanshi is saying, me and my children spend half the time in playing and studying. So wonderful. Yes, so you're doing 2 parts of it. Let's see if you can integrate the other parts as well. And the last part we're saying is build in some informative engagements for your child. Okay, and I'll talk about each of these as we move along. So next slide, Prerna, please. Okay, so let's look at physical. What we are saying is, due to whatever space constraints that we have, if you're fortunate to have some open space available to you, maybe a balcony, maybe a lawn outside, sitting out space a little, depending on whatever space is, try and create 2 to 3 engagements of physical activity in a day, 10-15 minutes, right? It could be exercising, it could be Zumba, it could be simple random dancing, Bollywood dancing, anything where there is a body movement. Okay, the key here is that the parents have to do it along with the child, right? So like Hemlata is saying so beautifully, we exercise together, skipping and yoga, watch something interesting together like documentary of mutual interest, we clean our house together. That's so wonderful. Hemlata, I'm learning so much from you, thank you. So yes, some physical activity. Here my only request is, do not try to include a screen over here. So I would ask you to refrain from switching on the TV and copying a dance, for example. Okay, because that's again screen time. So here physical activity, we are trying to say minimize the screen time. You have to keep away because children and you are anyways having too much of a screen time. So please minimize the screen time. Do random, just put on some music and some dance, yoga, whatever. Like Hemlata is saying, cleaning the house, that's so wonderful. It's involving the kids, it's making your work also easy and fun at the same time. Children are learning life skills, right? So that's very, very important. And you can have it in bits and pieces, not say 1 hour a day. Break it up 15-20 minutes, 15-20 minutes in the morning, something in the afternoon, say 4 o'clock types. 2 slots also would be good to do, right? So we can start with this. So that's on the physical engagement side. Let's move on, Prerna. Yes. So the next we're talking about is the academic, which obviously is the classes that are already going on for quite a few children. Schools are already conducting online classes, so they have to sit in front of the laptops or computers, and they're taking, next slide, Prerna, please. But for those students where the classes have finished or are on a break for the sake, but yet, and they have time to spare. So a good technique here or a good tip here is to have a routine set for kids, and this works especially well for working parents, where the mother and father both are working and you're working from home, for example, and you have kids. uh, it's a good practice to get them to wake up at the same time, get ready, have your breakfast together, so that work also finishes off. They get into their routine, you also get into your job routine, right? So it's important from that perspective. So have a routine. In fact, if children are having classes, get them also to say wear uniforms, so they get into the mode. It's a very subtly conditioning of getting the child to come into the school mode, the study mode. Otherwise, I've heard a lot of children, a lot of parents sharing that, um, children know it's a laptop, it's a screen, right? So they switch off the video and they're lying around, they're disinterested, they're just sitting in front of the screen, but nothing is going inside, right? So one of the ways you can help them is, uh, yes, get them into a routine, get them to dress up in the uniform, so that it feels like, they are going to school. And the same works for you as working parents. So if you're working from home, it's a good idea, have your routine, get up, get dressed as you would get dressed for office, have formal attire, so that your appearance also when you are attending meetings is also formal. And it gives you a routine and a pattern. So, and you fall into that, right? Because trust me, friends, this is going to be our way of life for a long time now. We all need to learn to live with this. Even if things are opening out, it's going to be very sporadic, bits and pieces. As you can see, offices are opening only with 25% strength. So what are the rest of the 75% people going to do? They have to still work, right? Work will be given, but working from home. And hence you have to develop this as a disciplined routine. It cannot be random any longer. When it was 1 week, 2 week, we all went with a random lifestyle, but no longer. This has to be a longer practice and a regular practice. So the sooner we adapt our change our habits to that, it's going to be easier and more fun for all of us, actually. Yeah. So somebody is saying, I think the beginning of this lockdown was so boring, but this has become an opportunity for me to teach life skills. Yes, indeed. Watering plants, wonderful, small bits of things. And I'm going to cover that as a part of the engagement as well. Helping arrange the dining table, so wonderful. Cutting salads, filling water bottles, laundry. Indeed, yes, you're right, not every day, as they get bored soon. Yeah. So you have to get them engaged on the activities. So like I was saying, if children are not having classes, uh, and you feel they have a lot of spare time which you would like to engage fruitfully, you can get them to have apps like Khan Academy, Diksha, which is academic curriculum. Okay. uh, Khan Academy is CBSE oriented. Diksha also is CBSE. In fact, I think Khan Academy is for quite a few other boards as well, state boards as well. So yes, you can get them to log into this. They get a lot of worksheets and study material on this, so it will keep them engaged. This was for those who are not having classes already. So if your children are already having too many classes, you can kind of skip this, at least say keep it for weekends probably, right? So Himanshi says, I tell my children to take their sleep properly in the evening, and then they study, so they are fresh by sleeping. That's a wonderful thing. Yes. So I'll talk about that also. Sleeping is very important, even from the fact that when we are exposed too much to the digital platforms, it is fatiguing our eyesight, our minds, and hence sleep, especially for children, is going to be very important. We adults are able to refresh ourselves, but children need that break to refresh themselves. So that's a great thing that you're doing. Yes. So moving on, the third part we're saying is entertaining engagement. So what else can you include? Yes, next slide, please, Prerna. Right. So a very important thing, and I would like people to pay a little attention here to this, is uh, our children have got very used to 3D video games, right? Which are very harmful, both for their eyesight and for their minds, their mental capabilities. So they're getting addicted to this very fast moving, jazzy stuff. And hence, when you try to make them do things which are like reading a textbook, which is black and white, or writing something. It's a very slow activity as compared to what they're doing, say playing PUBG or Temple Run or Subway Surfer. Those are very fast, quick, say any car racing games, right? So their minds are so attuned to something so fast. You will see even when you're trying to say watch TV with them, they want to fast, surf the channels very fast. Or if you sit with them on the laptop, they're quickly changing screens so fast from here to there, top to bottom, right? Because they're so used to it, they cannot see something stagnated for over a few seconds. That is the impact that is getting created by these 3D video games, and we need to get our children to move away from that. And how do we do that is to start encouraging them to play more 2D or intellectual games, which are like board games. See, on the mobile, like you have free flow. It's a design pattern, colors match, etc. Right? Simple. Sudoku, intellectual game. It builds thinking capabilities in children, and it's not a fast-paced thing at all. Right? Word hunts, finding out differences, brainversity, hidden object games. Right? You can try all these, which are normal games, and hence you will see them over a period of time settling down. So children, parents who come with complaints of children having hyperactivity, uh, mentally also very hyperactive, for them especially, keep them away from 3D games, video games. Very damaging. So Charu is sharing, my daughter does painting when she gets bored. Wonderful way of expression. Talent encourage karna hai, get them to do that. That's wonderful. Colors are very good for the eyes, and it's an activity again which is very de-stressing, so she's also relaxing mentally. So that's a wonderful thing, Charu. Thank you for sharing that. So other suggestions coming in are chess, ludo, lego, carom boards. Yes, how about antakshri, purane zamane ka? Let's bring it back. Sit together as a family, right? I am a very big advocate of playing board games together. Let the family sit together, have family time together, play Monopoly, right? Uno cards for small kids. It's wonderful. I enjoy it with my nephews and nieces whenever they're here. So that wonderful games. Antakshri Purane Zamane mein. Cards, simple games of cards, Teen Do Panch for those of you who have played that, things like that. Play that together. In fact, for families, to share with you my own experience, we all in the family are connected and we play Tambola on WhatsApp. 1.5 hours, good entertainment, good fun, playing over the WhatsApp. It's good, So explore this, and I'm sure you'll come out with more ideas. So, like somebody shared in my last session, what she does is, she picks out these stories from Ramayana, etc., which she teaches to her children, and asks them to do role plays or create their own script around it. So this is the scene, this is Ram, Sita, etc., and create your own role play around it and do that. So she has 2 daughters, they play the characters, they pull out dupattas, drape them, etc. Fun. Yeah, damsharas, wonderful idea. Play damsharas together. Anything which is keeping them away from screens, from any fast moving such activities which impact the mind and the brain, do all those. So wonderful. Yes, thanks for those ideas. Yes, Prerna, next. So what we are saying net is TV watching should be minimum. Maximum screen time recommended is 2 hours. Unfortunately, that's not possible with all the online studying, etc. But try and minimize it as much as possible. Okay. Try and follow a distance rule. So 5 times of the screen size should be the distance between the eyes and the screen. So please try and check that as much as you can maintain that. Okay. Encouraging your daughter to cook simple dishes. That's so wonderful. Safety has to be kept in mind. I'm sure you're doing that. So maybe no fire cooking to start with, making summer coolers, cookies, baking, a little bit of that. Great, wonderful things. Yeah, life skills. Children need to learn this. Okay. When we are watching screens, whether it's mobiles, laptops, etc., illumination, the lighting in the room is very important. 3 times the screen illumination. These are small bits of things. If you keep this in mind, it will help you a lot in maintaining your physical fitness as well. So your eyes need that. So please do that. The blue screen. So if you are aware of it, mobiles have a blue screen so that a harmful radiation does not come out to your eyes. Try and maintain that. Okay. So my daughter do joking for fun. She play games which she play with her friends with me. Wow, that's so wonderful. You're just a friend to her. I can just make that out, Himanshi. Thank you for sharing that. I make yummy dishes like cake, biscuit, ice cream. Wow, wonderful, Kanishka. It's great. So please do continue doing this. I like the idea of salad cutting, laying out the table, involving kids in all these small activities, right? Yes, next slide, Prerna. So illumination rule, somebody was asking, illumination rule is whatever is the screen illumination that you have, you should maintain it at a 3 times the ratio, right? So the screen has a illumination. If you check, you have to maintain lights in the room which are 3 times that. So for example, those who like watching TV with very few dim lights, not healthy. Watching mobile after switching off lights in the room, not at all healthy, right? So it harms your eyesight a lot. So try and keep the room illuminated when you're watching, when you have any kind of a screen. Please discourage and ensure you set up a rule that mobiles are not allowed at the time of sleeping. Once lights are out, mobiles are also out. And you have to play role models. A lot of times we tell children, we ourselves are actually hooked onto that web series, etc. And uh, we have to be role models to them. I'm sure you will agree to that, right? In terms of parental control, try and keep YouTube Kids for those who have small kids, toddlers, etc. To start with, the earlier you inculcate good habits in children, you will see that you will have lesser problems as they grow. So those who have younger children, good time for you to set good rules, be a role model, give them good habits in terms of even digital, right? So that आगे जाके आपको कम problems होंगे. Trust me. Yes, next, Prerna. Right. So we've covered 3 parts, which is academic, physical, and entertainment. There also has to be some element of learning something new. That is what we mean by informative. Learn something new each day. Now, the world is changing very fast, and the requirement at the workplace is also changing. So, I'm sure as working professionals, those who are working would realize that even we have had to learn new skills. For example, I have also had to, I'm as a trainer, used to going and addressing people in a room. And suddenly, I now have to learn how to use technology to do an online webinar, chat with you using a chat box, get used to those responses. So yes, you have to learn new skills, right? So similarly, you have to prepare your children also. They should also keep learning new skills. Let's see some of the things that they can do. Yes, Prerna, next slide. So what we are saying is there are some apps which you can use for children. So for example, Duolingo for language learning. So wonderful, simple activities to pick up a language. Okay, create an account, try it out. So whenever I'm talking about any technology, any application, anything that I'm recommending, my another recommendation goes is that please first create an account yourself, check it out. If you find it useful, share it with your kids and implement it. Right. Another one is Scribd. Okay, SCRIBD. TED Talks. It's a wonderful way of encouraging children to think out of the box. Wonderful. If you have seen TED Talks that came on Star TV, which was hosted by Shah Rukh Khan, that's one of the series that you have. There's an international original series as well, which is available on YouTube and all other channels. You have a separate platform for app for that also. So it's a wonderful thing. You have children also doing TED Talks. So you can start with showing them what young kids are doing, different things that they're doing, inventing, discovering. challenging, out of box thinking, and it will set them also, motivate them, inspire them. Another good app for coding, um, that you can use is, I'm sorry, can you hear me? Okay, so
Yes, ma'am, we
somebody,
can hear you. We
okay,
can hear you.
thank you.
Sorry, the screen share has just.
Yes, no problem. So I'll read the comments till then. So Elevate is also a good app for kids for English vocabulary. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing, Nikita. So others also can make a note of this. Elevate app, Nikita says, right? Uh, Kanishka, I paint and draw my room wall. My smaller sister never watched TV, phone. She liked to study and play with her friends. But nowadays there is lockdown, so she plays with her dolls, and I learned French from Duolingo. Wow, wonderful. So somebody is learning French, encouraging the younger ones. So yes, those who have two children in the house, get them to work together. The elder one can help the younger one with certain studies, and the younger one can then also turn on and play games. It's good, they learn from each other, so that's a wonderful thing. Yes, Prerna, next. Yeah, so net we are saying, decide on a screen free time. I always recommend meal times to be absolutely screen free, so no phones, no gadgets, no TV, nothing. Sit down together, have meals together, talk to each other, have fun, crack jokes, enjoy the meal. You will see the bonding increase so much more, right? So you have to try and do that. Keep separate screen free times, and that's again starts as a role model when we as parents are able to do that. Okay, next. So this, what I spoke so far was strategies mainly for kids up to say 12, 13. As they're growing, a lot of parents also give them, they have their own phones, etc. They are more hooked on to Netflix and all these things. So certain more strategies for teenagers which you need to be aware of. Just would like to highlight a few things on this. So one is making children aware about online predators. Uh, so whatever we do online, there are a lot of people sitting out there, invisible to us, who are ready to hack into systems. Okay, so you have to make children aware that there are predators, and whom you will not know, who you have no connection to, but who can easily penetrate into systems. Their whole job the whole day is hacking. They are being paid to do this. There are companies who are employing people to hack, right? So we don't have a control over it, so we have to be aware of it and keep ourselves safe from that. Next. This is for all of us, and I find this a very powerful slide, is our digital footprint. Please listen to this carefully. Is our digital footprint is permanent. Anything that we upload online or have written online, any photograph, anything, it stays in the cloud somewhere it is stored. Anything when we register, so for example, even if you registered for this workshop, you entered details, uh, it gets stored in some cloud somewhere, right? uh, Organizations that are doing it for a, a good purpose obviously will share that openly with you, that this is safe and secure, and will take measures to maintain that thing. However, there are people who are able to hack into things, take out details. We've heard about it, Facebook, WhatsApp. We've heard about data privacy breaches, right? And our digital footprint stays. So be careful on whatever you're doing online. It is important that we also understand it as adults. There's a study which shows that we are 35 plus age group people are more prone to neglecting such things, whereas the teenagers are much smarter. They tend to erase a lot of stuff that they're doing. They don't keep it for long, but we are not so good at maintaining our thing. So even if you're deleting it somewhere, it's still on cloud, but at least try and minimize that. So things like the boys locker room Snapchat, the case that you would have heard of. Uh, all these things, they stay somewhere, and you don't know when somebody is going to dig up where things come out from the past and impact you in future. There have been cases we've heard of where online activities were dug up and prospective employers withdrew job offers because they found on reference check, on online checking, they found incorrect activities, and they did not want to hire such employees, although it was done 3 years back, 4 years back, right? It was still an indication of you as a person. Hence, children have to be made aware of this. This is a very big point, and I would urge you to please make a note of this and ensure that you talk to your children about this and explain how important this is to them. Any thoughts on this? Any inputs? Any questions?
So, ma'am, at the end of the session now, we will be taking questions, so you can
Sure.
move forward.
So I'll move ahead. Great.
Yeah.
So next slide, please. So how do you encourage cyber safety? A few tips, quick ones, is not sharing personal information online. Please, very clearly, they should be told not to share personal information. Don't share any passwords. They're not supposed to do that. Even with friends, no sharing of passwords. Don't get together with somebody that you meet online, right? Cyberbullying is a concern, Nikita says. Yes, I am coming to that as well. That's happening because children tend to connect a lot externally, at this age. So it's important to make them understand what cyberbullying is, and hence your own engagement and bonding with the child needs to get strengthened so that they're able to come and share that with you, something is happening to them at all. So don't use text and other tools to gossip, bully, or damage someone else's reputation. So in all their groups, Snapchats, Hangouts, etc., uh, I would encourage, as a practice, no passwords on mobile phones, right? So if as parents we don't have a password, even children should not have a password, and we should respect it. It's not that we're going to go around snoozing and checking their mobiles. Respect them. They are adults by now. You need to respect them, show them that respect, and they will in turn give you back that respect, right? But have that bond wherein they're able to come back and share with you if something is happening to them, or even to any of their friends for that matter. That sharing has to happen. Okay, so it's important. Yes, and cyberbullying has increased a lot, body shaming, a lot of this stuff, a lot of so they need to understand that what actually is projected on social media may not really be reality. So we all tend to put a very happy and nice pics on our Facebook pages, etc. Maybe we are not that always, right? So always a smiling and a happy and a cozy and a lovey-dovey photograph may not be actually the truth, and hence children tend to get they have their own connotations and interpretations about all this, and so there's so many cases of depressions and isolations and all that stuff, getting into drug abuse. A lot of things impact. The key to all this is that's very important. Last is talk to a parent or a trusted adult if an interaction or a message makes you uncomfortable. So again, sharing, get the child comfortable so that the child is able to share with you. Okay. Yes. Next, Prerna, please. Monitor and stay involved. So one of the key things how you get engaged is you should know who, what, where, and when are your kids meeting and interacting with. You should have an idea of who their friend circle is, what kind of families are they coming from, uh, what is their pattern like. You should have spoken to them once in a while, right? um, so what are they doing, what are your kids involved in, what kind of activities are they doing? uh, it does not happen overnight, and it suddenly cannot start. It has to go step by step. So again, the earlier you start, the better. So a lot of people who are playing with kids, having fun, etc., as I saw in the chats, wonderful, you're building great things. please take it to the next level. You should also know who their friends are. So like earlier times, when we go back, getting friends over to the house, give them their space, but also monitor, also have an eye out of what they are doing. That's for your own information and knowledge, not to pass a judgment or create your own impressions, but to be aware of what do they do. That's very important, right? Have a friendly attitude, share your own experiences. So when I was talking about sharing, it's also important that, look, we all have gone through this phase of life, right? We all have been teenagers. We have had a fair share of mistakes as well. I'm sure, cross our hearts, honestly, we have all made mistakes. We have done things behind our parents' backs. Let's be honest about it, right? uh, that's the way we've learned, and our children will also have that fair amount of learning through their mistakes. So give them that little space, but share about it. It's okay to do this mistake, but to what extent? Where there is a physical safety of a child involved, it's no compromise, non negotiable. They have to abide by certain rules, right? What are the certain things where they can experiment? You have to have that fine line judgment, uh, getting them to experiment and try new things while also being careful about their own security and safety. It's a very fine line and a key skill and art to learn. Okay, next. So what you do is regular communications to build a strong bond. Discuss risks involved, whether it is in digital, whether it's in substance use, alcohol, because this is the age that they're getting highly influenced. And who the key influencer is in your hands, right? So if friends are being the key influencer, which means your bond with your child is not as strong, right? That's an indication. You need to start picking that up. Okay, be a role model for your child. Now when I say this, a lot of parents says हम perfect नहीं हो सकते. Sure, हम perfect नहीं हो सकते हैं, but at least जो हम उनसे कह रहे हैं करने को, हम खुद वही करें. Practice what you preach, at least to start with. So if you're saying mobile phones off after 10, mobile phones are off after 10. So if the Wi-Fi has to be switched off, it has to be switched off for everybody, right? You cannot have a way out. Once in a while, yes, if there is work, you can, yes, inform. Today I have work and hence I'm working for 1 hour, so that the child knows that there is transparency. Build that transparency. They will respect you for it. They will understand it. They are adults, trust me. Okay, engage them in physical and other recreational activities. So they are the key to keep children away from all these influences of gadgets, substance abuse, alcohol, etc. All these negative things is to engage them in positive things. So what are their hobbies? What are their engagements like? Involve them in new things. Let's try out something new. Do it together to start with, so that the child picks up some interest, right? Teach the teen how to say no to friends. This is a very important one, and they will only learn how to say a no when you start saying a no to them for certain things, and that's how they will start to learn to say a no. So again, if there's something which is compromising your physical safety, security, no, non-negotiable, capital N, capital no. Okay, it's a no. Where is it that flexibility is allowed? Are certain things which are okay for you, and where I'm comfortable with where you're going, with whom you're going, etc. Okay, this is a very important concept of reverse learning, and interesting one which I just added last night while I was reading something. It's a good time to also learn from our own children. Trust me, the younger generation is 3 steps ahead of us when it comes to technology, and they can teach us so many things. I am learning so much about Zoom from my nephew. Okay, similarly for a lot of things, and this will help you build bonds. Why don't you come and teach me how to use Zoom? Sit with them, ask them to teach you. Ask them to teach you, I need to do this particular video recording, or this is a new program that I looked at, or a course, I need help with this. When they teach you, they feel empowered, they feel confident. आपकी बॉन्डिंग बढ़ेगी. Yes, initially it'll come, क्या मम्मा क्या पापा आपको ये भी नहीं पता. हाँ नहीं पता, सिखा दो, right? They know much better. तुम्हें पता है, तुम सिखा दो. Okay, learn from them. Trust me, this works wonders. Okay, next. So on a closing note, there are two things that we should give our children. One is roots. There, give them the security and the affirmation that we are here with you. We are with you always. And the other is wings to fly and explore themselves. Okay. So Himanshi is saying in Zoom meeting, I sit with them. Yes, do that to the extent that it is required. You may not be required to sit throughout it. Keep monitoring once in a while. Just keep checking out if everything is okay or not. It's a good thing. So you have a handle of what's happening around. Great. Next one, Prerna. Okay. So just before we end, just wanted to share quickly what are the services that I offer. So I'm a parenting coach, specific program for parenting for toddlers, mid-schoolers, teenagers. So it's a very generic program. I do specific programs as well. Programs for healthy teens, where there's more on drug abuse, alcohol, the digital part of it, cyberbullying, etc. Right? Programs on digital detox, daring to discipline, lot of a host of programs around parenting, a host of programs around career coaching. That's a key area that I focus on. So for teenagers, etc., parents, that's a big concern. I work on career counseling, career coaching, and etc. Right. So today is World Environment Day, and I thought this apt to end on this note by saying, on this World Environment Day, let us promise to protect and pledge to heal our children, build a stronger generation for times to come. Right. So Charu is asking how to contact you. I'll leave that to Prerna. So I'm done. I'm happy to take questions now.
Okay, so ma'am, thank you for your valuable words, and it was a great session.
Yeah.
And to all the participants, now if you have any queries regarding this session, you can put up your questions in the chat box. And to all the audience who are watching us live, you can also put your queries so that we can ask now if you have any. So we are waiting for some seconds and then we'll move forward. So waiting for queries from all of you. So for Charu ma'am, you can contact Fairgaze. You can contact us, and we'll be providing you the way to contact ma'am. So you can either mail us at info@fairgaze.com, and we'll provide you with the required things.
Right. So thank you, Himanshi and Charu and Nikita and others who have been constantly adding comments. I'm scrolling up.
So, ma'am,
Yeah.
we have received a question from Nikita, ma'am.
Okay.
She says that she's a teacher and she wants to reach out. She says that I'm a teacher. I want to reach out to my students. How
Mhm.
to know if any of them is in trouble or is struggling due to abusive family environment?
Okay. So, Nikita, couple of things. Obviously, I'm sure with your experience as a teacher, one is to observe and study the body language of the child. You will see if a child is facing any trouble, you will see their body language changing. They tend to withdraw, they tend to isolate themselves, be quieter, or get on the other extreme, which is aggressiveness. Too much of aggressiveness, not following order, directions that are given to them, not doing what they're told to do, etc. So when there is anything on the other, on extreme sides of a normal behavior, those are typically cases where there are issues, underlying issues to start with. So you may like to talk to those students first and find out if there is some problem. If not the children directly, talk to parents as to, you see a change in behavior. So if you have observed a pattern of behavior of the child over a certain period of time, that earlier he was interactive and dhire dhire he started becoming quieter in the class, so on and so forth, you can discuss that uh, with the parents, or take insights, observations even from other fellow teachers who would have seen certain things, and that's how you typically pick it out, right, and take it forward from there. Okay. So I hope I've answered that question to your
Yeah.
satisfaction.
So Nikita ma'am has asked again that is it fair to push students to participate in online classes and discussions and submit homeworks regularly in pandemic situation? Teachers are stuck between institutions and empathy for students.
So I understand as a teacher that you're stuck between what is required by the school and your empathy for students, which is also probably coming from your own concern, maybe as a parent as well. But yes, there are certain things that you need to follow as a routine, as a curriculum that has to be completed. Because, like I said, this is going to be a long time thing and children need to adjust to it. So, it's important to have open conversations to help them adjust. It's not about pushing. I think pushing is not going to achieve any objective. जबरदस्ती से बच्चा ना कुछ समझेगा ना सुनेगा ना सीखेगा. So the entire idea is failing if you're pushing a child. Rather, you have to encourage them, make them aware and understand कि सीखना है. So how do we need to actually accept this way of life now? It's happening with all of us. Take your own example. You are also learning. I mean, I can talk of n number of teachers who have learned how to record a class of chapter, how to teach a chapter on the mobile phone, record it and upload it, right? So the similar way the children have to be explained on this, take their viewpoints. Yes, they may have certain challenges, uh, if there are possibilities of accommodating, uh, you can also have word with the institution as to, if it is getting too much, where if it's a genuine concern of a lot of students, take it up even with the institutions. As teachers, you also need to play the other role, I think, where it's possible to take up and kind of build in certain breaks, etc. But otherwise, yes, children need to be made to understand that this is important and why is it important that they need to do it, right? Yeah, so thank you. That was an interesting question, Nikita. Thank you.
Yeah. So I think we are over with questions now. So all the lovely audience, thank you for having us here, and thank you so much, Pooja ma'am, also for this session. And to all of you, I would like to tell that for having sessions or for booking an appointment with such counselors like Pooja ma'am, you can visit our website Fairgaze, and in the Coffee with Counselor session, you can have an array of counselors on different topics. And also, we are having regular sessions for both students, parents, and teachers for all of them. And we are also having a session tomorrow on a very interesting topic of handwriting. And it's at 4 p.m. So you can also visit our website for all these interesting sessions also, along with Coffee with Counselors. So just visit our website, and if you have anything to ask, you can mail us regarding that.
Sure. So thank you, Nikita. Thank you, Jayanti, for your genuine feedback. I would appreciate any other insights, inputs as feedback. I would be happy to hear that. I think there was a question posted by somebody. If I can just
Okay.
quickly look at that.
Yeah, ma'am. I think we have got a question from Mosumi. She's a
Yeah.
social worker, I think, and she says that, "Hello, ma'am. I'm working as a social worker in Child Guidance Center, and
Okay.
I mostly work with special child. Because of
Okay.
this pandemic, all the therapy closed, so now they became addicted to mobile and TV. So, as a social worker, what suggestions is important for those parents?"
Okay, so Moshmi, I do not know how much access that you have to start using technology like these Zoom sessions or even a WhatsApp call, etc., to ensure that you are carrying forward some kind of therapy or sessions with the children. Again, you need to kind of go back and make this a routine and practice, because, like I said, it's going to continue. So even if a normal school starts as it was earlier, there would still be a part of it you need to start doing online. So staying connected, you need to build in, say, spending an hour with the child, so that at least some amount of it. And also, if you can get parents, talk to parents as to what activities they can do. So I have shared a lot of suggestions. Maybe you can do such activities with your parents, right? Give them certain tips on how they can engage with children. So I guess that should work for you to start with. Yeah, thank you. I hope I've answered your question, Moshmi.
Yeah. So I think we are now over with the question and answer session 2, and we have received wonderful feedbacks. So
Thank you.
thank you so much, ma'am, Pooja ma'am, again for this session, for parting your
Thank you.
time
It was a
here.
pleasure.
Sure,
It was a
ma'am. Sure,
pleasure.
ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you to Fair Gaze for providing this platform. And I look forward to interacting again and sharing whatever learnings that I have. I'm happy to do that.
Okay, great, ma'am. Great, ma'am. We are here for that only. And thank you to all the lovely audience. You can visit our website for all other interesting webinars. You can visit Fairgaze website. So now closing for today, and we'll meeting again in other sessions also. Thank you to all of you. Thank you, Pooja ma'am.
Thank you, Prerna, for your support. Bye. Have a
Yeah,
good day. Bye bye,
good
everybody.
day.
Have a great evening ahead. Thank you.
And happy Environmental Day to all of you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I'm ending this session.
Thank you.